There comes a moment in every person's life when the mirror stops lying. A moment when you look yourself in the eyes and feel the weight of every wasted opportunity, every excuse, every time you chose comfort over growth. That moment hurts deeply, but that pain is a blessing because it's the first sign that your spirit is waking up. Broke isn't your bank account. Broke is the story you've been telling yourself. Broke is believing the world owes you patience while you waste your potential. Broke is waiting for motivation instead of building discipline. The truth is simple. Nobody is coming to save you. The world moves for people who refuse to be average, who refuse to be silent, who refuse to be another name lost in the crowd. Rich is not money alone. Rich is a lifestyle, a mindset, a relentless decision that every second of your life matters. Rich is choosing pressure over laziness, choosing growth over comfort, choosing the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. If you want to rise, you must first destroy the version of you that chose excuses. You weren't born to survive. You were born to dominate. For 66 days, give your life to a new standard. No excuses, no breaks, no negotiation. Build the habits that turn ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Transform your mindset, your environment, your work ethic, and your identity. By day 66, you won't even recognize the person you used to be. Broke is a mindset, not a condition, and the moment you understand that, your entire world shifts. Most people think being broke comes from a lack of money, but money is only the final symptom of a deeper disease. The real problem begins inside the mind long before it shows up in your bank account. Being broke is a mentality shaped by excuses, shaped by fear, shaped by the belief that life is supposed to happen slowly, gently, comfortably. People who stay broke aren't victims of circumstance, they're victims of their own thinking. They believe time will magically fix their life, that opportunities will fall into their lap, that success is something they deserve rather than something they create. They live in a mental prison built from their own excuses. And the saddest part is that they don't even realize they're trapped. A broke mindset is waking up every day and accepting the bare minimum as good enough. It's looking at your goals and saying, maybe tomorrow. It's telling yourself the world is unfair instead of admitting you're not working hard enough. It's blaming your parents, your environment, your job, your government, your childhood, anything except your own decisions. A broke mindset convinces you that discipline is too hard, that waking up early is too uncomfortable, that putting in real effort is optional. So you stay exactly where you are, stuck in the same loop, living the same year over and over again, and calling it a life. You repeat the same habits, the same patterns, the same laziness, and then you wonder why nothing changes. But change doesn't come from hope. Change comes from responsibility. The moment you accept that your life is a direct result of your own choices, everything transforms. That's the difference between someone who stays broke and someone who becomes unstoppable. People who build wealth, who build power, who build freedom, they don't see themselves as victims. They see themselves as the cause. They know that everything they do either pulls them closer to their goals or further away. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for the perfect time. They take action when they're tired, when they're stressed, when they're overwhelmed, when nobody believes in them, when nobody supports them. Because they understand that their mindset is the real currency, not the money in their pocket. A broke mindset always looks for shortcuts, but a wealthy mindset looks for responsibility. A broke mindset says, I'll try, while a wealthy mindset says, I'll do whatever it takes. A broke mindset complains about time. A wealthy mindset controls it. A broke mindset idolizes comfort. A wealthy mindset uses discomfort as fuel. The difference is psychological. One mindset looks for escape. The other looks for opportunity. One mindset is emotional. The other is strategic. One mindset dreams. The other executes. And the truth is, every person starts as one or the other, but only those who take control of their thoughts can shift from broke to wealthy. When you're trapped in a broke mindset, every challenge feels impossible. You see obstacles everywhere because you're conditioned to look for them. The smallest setback becomes a reason to quit. The smallest criticism destroys your confidence. The smallest difficulty makes you retreat back into your comfort zone. You become fragile. You start believing life is supposed to be easy. And if it's not easy, it must be unfair. But life isn't unfair. Life is indifferent. It doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. It doesn't care how much you want it. It cares about how much you're willing to sacrifice for it. And the moment you switch your mindset from emotional to focused, from fragile to disciplined, from broke to determined, everything changes around you. A rich mindset understands that wealth begins in the unseen, in your thoughts, your habits, your standards, your expectations. Rich people think differently. They don't waste time complaining or waiting for someone else to fix their life. They see every day as an opportunity to build something better. They read, they learn, they strategize. They push themselves even when nobody is watching. They don't need applause. They don't need validation. Their standards are internal. Their hunger is internal. Their discipline is internal. They pursue growth not because someone expects them to, but because they refuse to settle for a life that feels small. People with a broke mindset often misunderstand wealth. They think rich people got lucky, or were born into it, or had advantages. But that illusion protects their ego. Luck didn't wake them up early. Luck didn't make them study, build, plan, sacrifice, or risk. Luck didn't force them to outwork, outthink, and outgrow everyone around them. What separated them was mindset, a mindset that refused excuses, that refused comfort, that refused to be average. A mindset that understood you either control life or life controls you. If you want to escape the broke mindset, you must first destroy the beliefs that keep you small. You must stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? You must stop waiting for motivation and start acting with discipline. You must stop blaming the world and start owning your decisions. You must stop looking for shortcuts and start building foundations. You must raise your standards so high that the person you were yesterday can't even survive in the life you're building today. Because wealth isn't something you achieve, wealth is something you become. Discipline creates lifestyle because every result in your life, every success, every failure, every win, every regret is built from the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. People romanticize success as if it's luck, timing, or destiny. But the truth is far simpler and far more uncomfortable. Discipline is the architect of every powerful life, and the absence of discipline is the architect of every mediocre one. Discipline is not glamorous, it's not dramatic, and it doesn't give you instant gratification. It's cold, repetitive, demanding, and often thankless. But it is precisely that consistency, the willingness to do the hard things repeatedly, that molds a person into someone capable of wealth, freedom, strength, and influence. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they crumble in the moments where discipline matters most. They hate boredom, so they quit. They hate discomfort, so they settle. They hate repetition, so they remain average. They expect success to feel exciting every day, not realizing that the path to greatness is paved with monotony. The wealthy and powerful understand this truth. Discipline is what builds the habits that eventually build the lifestyle. When you choose discipline, you choose to take control of your life piece by piece. You choose to wake up early even when your body begs for more sleep. You choose to train even when your motivation is dead. You choose to study, build, plan, strategize even when you could be wasting time on distractions that make you feel good but leave you empty. Discipline is not about feeling ready, it's about winning against your own weakness. The person you are today has been shaped by the habits you repeated yesterday, and the person you will become in the future depends entirely on the habits you build now. A disciplined mind never waits for motivation, because motivation is emotional, unstable, unreliable. Discipline is solid, mechanical, unbreakable. Motivation lasts for minutes. Discipline lasts for decades. That is why disciplined people can build wealth even from nothing, while undisciplined people can lose everything even if they start with advantages. Discipline gives structure to chaos, direction to ambition, and purpose to effort. Without discipline, your goals are nothing more than wishful thinking. You say you want money, but you don't have the discipline to study how money works. You say you want freedom, but you don't have the discipline to build skills that create freedom. You say you want a better life, but you don't have the discipline to give up the habits that are destroying your potential. This is why discipline is so rare, because it demands honesty. It forces you to admit that the life you live right now is the exact life you've earned through your habits. That truth hurts people, so they hide behind excuses. They say they're too tired, too stressed, too busy, too unlucky. But disciplined people experience the same emotions and choose a different response. They push through the fatigue, They push through the overwhelm. They push through the days where their mind tries to sabotage them. They treat their goals like non-negotiable commitments, not optional wishes. That difference builds an entirely different lifestyle. When discipline becomes part of your identity, everything changes. You stop chasing pleasure and start chasing progress. You stop allowing your emotions to dictate your actions. You set standards for yourself that force you to evolve. You train your mind to ignore distractions and execute even when circumstances aren't ideal. Discipline turns chaos into clarity. It sharpens your focus, strengthens your resilience, and elevates your self-respect. And the more you respect yourself, the higher your standards rise. You no longer tolerate laziness, excuses, or shortcuts. You start eliminating people, habits, environments, and routines that pull you backward. You start building consistency in your work, your health, your finances, and your mindset. And slowly, almost silently, you begin transforming into someone unrecognizable. People often believe discipline is restrictive, but it's the opposite. Discipline is freedom. A disciplined person has the freedom to choose their future instead of being dragged by their impulses. A disciplined person has the freedom to build wealth because they have the habits that produce wealth. A disciplined person has the freedom to stay healthy because they don't negotiate their lifestyle. A disciplined person has the freedom to succeed because they refuse to betray their goals. Meanwhile, the undisciplined live trapped in procrastination, trapped in fear, trapped in confusion, trapped in the consequences of their own choices. They think discipline is too hard, not realizing that a life without discipline is 10 times harder. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. That's why people who master discipline rise. They learn to do the work whether they feel like it or not. They learn to stay consistent even when progress is slow. They learn to push beyond comfort and operate at a level that average people can't comprehend. And over time, discipline stops being an effort. It becomes autopilot. Your body moves, your mind executes, your will strengthens, and your life begins to align with the identity of a disciplined, unstoppable individual. This is how discipline creates lifestyle. Your habits become your days become your years become your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. And the destiny built on discipline is always greater than the destiny built on comfort. Comfort is the silent killer because it doesn't destroy you loudly. It destroys you quietly, slowly, gently, while convincing you that everything is fine. Comfort whispers in your ear and tells you there's no need to try today, no need to push yourself today, no need to improve today. And before you realize it, today becomes years of your life wasted. Comfort numbs your ambition and blinds you to your own potential. It makes you settle for less, accept mediocrity, and normalize weakness. People think danger comes from failure or risk, but the real danger comes from staying exactly where you are. Comfort feels safe because it requires nothing from you. It demands no growth, no sacrifice, no discipline. It makes you believe you have time, when in reality, time is slipping through your fingers while you sit still. You don't notice the damage right away because comfort kills your urgency first. It convinces you that your dreams can wait. It teaches you to avoid struggle instead of embrace it. It teaches you to choose shortcuts instead of mastery. It teaches you to protect your ego instead of face your flaws. The people who live their entire lives in comfort become prisoners of their own minds, trapped in routines that weaken them, trapped in habits that drain them, trapped in a cycle of wanting more but never doing enough to earn it. Comfort makes you tolerate things you once swore you'd never accept. It lowers your standards little by little. It trains you to live as a spectator instead of a creator. It makes you jealous of people who took risks you were too afraid to take. Comfort destroys your hunger, your fire, your ambition, the very qualities required to rise above the average. Every great life is built on discomfort, pressure, responsibility, and struggle. Every weak life is built on comfort, avoidance, excuses, and fear. Look at anyone who achieved greatness. They all went through discomfort on purpose. They chose it. They embraced it. Because discomfort forces growth. Discomfort builds mental strength. Discomfort gives you clarity, drive, and purpose. It breaks the weak parts of you so the stronger parts can emerge. Comfort hides your weaknesses behind distractions. Discomfort exposes them and forces you to confront them. Comfort tells you to stay the same. Discomfort demands you evolve. Comfort keeps you small. Discomfort forces you to become something bigger. Most people never reach their potential, not because they lack ability, but because they lack the courage to step away from comfort. They want success without sacrifice, confidence without discipline, strength without struggle. They want the reward without the discomfort required to earn it. But life doesn't work that way. You can always measure the size of a person's dreams by the amount of discomfort they are willing to endure. The bigger the dream, the bigger the discomfort. Comfort is easy to choose because it feels good in the moment, but every moment of comfort compounds into a lifetime of regret. You can choose comfort now and pain later, or you can choose discomfort now and freedom later. Comfort is the slow death of the modern world, a trap disguised as peace, a prison disguised as safety, a lie disguised as happiness. The truth is, comfort only benefits you when you've earned it, not when you hide in it. If your life feels stuck, feels empty, feels repetitive, it's because comfort has replaced challenge. To grow, you must break that pattern. You must step into discomfort willingly, consistently, aggressively. Because once you escape comfort, even briefly, you realize how capable you truly are. And once you taste what you can become, you will never go back. At some point, you must decide who you refuse to be. You must look at your life, strip away the excuses, silence the doubts, and confront the truth head on. You are capable of far more than the version of yourself comfort has allowed you to become. The life you want is not waiting for you. It is demanding something from you. It is asking you to give more, become more, sacrifice more, believe more, and push harder. The world does not reward those who sit still. It rewards those who rise. And rising is uncomfortable. Changing your habits is uncomfortable. Letting go of your past identity is uncomfortable. Becoming someone stronger than you've ever been is uncomfortable. But nothing grows without friction. Nothing evolves without pressure. Nothing becomes powerful without pain. Every step forward will feel heavy, but every step forward will transform you. So choose discomfort willingly. Choose discipline daily. Choose growth relentlessly. Because once you break the chains of comfort, you don't just change your life, you change who you are. And the moment you become unstoppable on the inside, the world has no choice but to move out of your way.